This was Asteroids in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
It was made by Atari. And it had a little ship and it had a bunch of asteroids. Now, when I was in high school, we had an assignment where we had to recreate this game, but in Java. Yeah. And my teacher, Mr. Simon, taught an AP computer science class, and people were supposed to create this sample spaceship program. See? And then they were eventually supposed to add like bullets and everything so that it would just look just like this. But I wanted to make it much more interesting. And so I did. See, I made my own version, and I added a lot more than just bullets.
Cool.
Let me open it. So it ran as a Java applet. You remember what those were?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. No! Come back in 10 minutes. Okay, it runs now. This was my little splash screen. It runs at 30 FPS.
Oh, I like the background.
Yeah, see? I didn't want to learn about boring stuff like binary trees and queues. I wanted to make more weapons. So that's how it starts. It comes with a little invulnerability shield and a little ship. And then the asteroids float by you, and you can shoot at them like that. Then they go away. They make a little splash effect. Ah! There's a little rocket too that shows, and you have mouse control. You also have like arrow control and WASD control. Oh, darn it. Wasn't supposed to show that. So in addition
go
to the,
suicide. Suicide yourself.
well, that's the thing. I didn't program in death. So, you see, I had limited resources as a programmer, and actually I did program in death, but I turned it off for the majority of the programming.
Okay.
There was this feature called hyperspace too. You could press a key, and then you could teleport to another part of the map, like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, see? And then there was this little indicator on the bottom. It showed the progress meter recharging. Just like that. See that? Ooh. Let me see. If you press F1, then it brings up this little options panel. It enables things like anti-aliasing, which makes the game smoother. Did you see it get smoother?
Yeah.
Yeah. See? It decreases the FPS a little on slow computers, but on this one it doesn't. And then if you enable the little precision firing option, then you can fire off in a line instead of the shower. Yeah. Just like that. I made reconfigurable controls if you wanted to change the fire key to like slash. Oh, then you have to hit escape. That's right. Then it would do it. Yeah. I made a little options panel so you could change the ship color. So you could change your ship design. See that? It has a little design on it. And you can change the color of your ship too.
Oh.
Whoa. See that? And then if you went and did hyperspace, then it would show up bigger. Just like that.
Cool.
Ah. Now, where I really had fun was when I started making the weapons. I made this little panel to show the recharge times of them. You can access it by pressing tab, and it shows about 8 of them. When you press like the number keys from 1 to 0, it activates some of them. Like if you press 1, then it activates the laser. Like that. And then you can control it with your mouse, so it's easy. You don't have to go on arrow key like this. When you press 1, the little recharge timer starts right here. If you press 2, then it makes this giant line wave thing that kills everything in its path. And when you press 3, it makes this repellent function that gets any asteroids that are close to you away from you.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
See, it uses, it's about equal force, and so the bigger ones, they take a long time to accelerate the same amount, because, F equals ma. Look at that. Yeah. Whereas these tiny ones, they go crazy. You can make them move faster than they originally were moving. Now this fourth one's my favorite. When you press the 4 button, then it creates this little blue warhead, and then it creates a bunch of homing missiles.
That's
And
pretty
locks
cool.
in on targets.
This is pretty extensive.
Just like that. See that? Ooh. And fun fact, this is the weapon with the most exceptions. So you'll notice it has no cooldowns. So if I keep pressing it, then you'll see lots of exceptions happen. Because of all the concurrency, and I think I didn't fully debug that one. But it still works. Yeah. Fifth one was really interesting. I experimented with the graphics code, and I made this little fan that just like goes around and takes up the whole screen, and then it kills everything. It was like right here, I had several buffers, and one was called a trippy graphics buffer. I actually made it apply to the bullets too. The bullets leave trails like that, because the buffer is not fully erased every time it's redrawn. The sixth one is my chain lightning. See, when you press 6, it latches on to the nearest asteroid, and it kills everything in its path. And it kills everything in its path. It'll recharge soon, but in the meantime, I'll show you the zero laser. With the zero laser, I wanted to make something that looks really epic, so I did. It makes this giant circle and then it pulls all the asteroids into it, and then it crushes them all. It makes the whole screen rumble too.
God.
Much better than the 3 bullets, right? Oh, so much better. Here, let me show you the chain lightning again. Ah, so fun to watch. All done. Now, for the 7th one, that one you activate by pressing 7, but it actually has this second bar instead of just a cooldown meter. If you try and request it with too few enemies, then it'll deny you. So if you see, I have to kind of add more enemies until the threat level goes up really high, and then when it's fully green, then you can press it. Your ship will send out little radio waves, and then it'll bring down reinforcements of other ships, and it'll move around and surround you. And then the ships will go around and destroy everything, just like all the other weapons, until there's nothing left. But then when there's more stuff, they'll all latch on. Just like that.
How are you pathfinding?
There is no pathfinding. If you add a lot of asteroids, the ships will actually come back, just like this. If you press F11, then they'll give like little small asteroids. The ships will actually use their lasers to get the small asteroids. They'll send out electromagnetic waves too when they're leaving, just to give you a little invulnerability shield.
It's like 2 sine waves.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a transverse electromagnetic wave. So yes, that was the last one.
Cool, cool.
And then if you press 0, it shows off the debug mode. You get like this permanent shield. The bullets become unlimited, so you can just fire off like crazy. I wanted to make levels where you would get a slowly rising difficulty, but that would have been hard. That would have taken a lot more time. And then that would have required me to play test it several times. I would have had to like do balancing and stat updating, and then I would have to make a boss, and I don't know how many people would have played. That's like a big risk at that point. I just wanted to make more weapons. It was like being an engineer, except you didn't have to know any math, science, or physics.
You're using a lot of math. You just don't know it.
It was using a lot of trigonometry, a lot of sine, cosine, and tangent, but that was about it.
Cool.